This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire, Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. This story is a follow-up to several episodes that I've done on 3D guns, and I'll be referencing an article by Sky News. It's an exclusive that they've got, and respect to the journalist Sanya Burgess, who has actually done the research in relation to this. I covered a case the other day where a man from Birmingham was convicted for producing a Glock handgun and also trying to obtain other parts to produce more guns. And in this article, it actually explains a bit better as to how it's used and to why it's used and how realistic it is that people will be getting these firearms. And it's also revealed that they believe that sectarian gangs and also street gangs in the UK have obtained some of these firearms with adjustments. The Sky News article speaks about the fact that on the dark web there are files that can be downloaded where it will show you how to create the gun, and they're saying that this is incredibly dangerous and this would mean some people with bad intentions could do this. And the reason why they're finding it so difficult to be able to police is because in the United States it's perfectly legal to print 3D guns, and they're doing a lot of YouTube videos, Instagram videos about it, and people in the UK are just simply watching this, and this means that the police can't really do much about it because it's a case of what's legal in one country and what isn't legal in another, but is shared on the internet. The Metropolitan Police told Sky News they'd recovered 4 printed 3D guns since 2018, and they are treating printed guns as an emerging trend, and the force are actively monitoring it. There is a lot of Americans that are enthusiasts for giving people the right to be able to make their own 3D gun, and they are sharing the files online and actively promoting it, and this again is what they raise in the article about the concerns. In the article as well, that I'll leave a link in the description, they interview one of the researchers from King's College University, and he explains how realistic it is for the average person to be able to create a 3D gun. And he speaks about many factors in the manufacturing process that represent a problem for the average person. And of course, some of the guns that they've seized were Mac 10s as well. And people pointed out that it's obvious some of the parts of the gun were not 3D. And that is based on the fact that, of course, not all of the gun can be 3D printed. They will need barrels and these sort of things that will be from the original gun. And then they will copy the rest of it and be able to make handles and molds and grips and all these different parts of the gun that would just make it a lot easier to sort of recycle or upcycle a damaged gun that had previously no longer been used. Another big factor of this article as well is that they say that police in Northern Ireland are investigating after they found 2 printed guns in the hands of a Republican splinter group. So this is a form of the IRA, the real IRA. And this is of course unusual due to the fact that with the peace treaty that's going on in Northern Ireland, there shouldn't be a shortage of guns because they'll be put in stockpiles. So for them to print 3D guns is a very unusual act and also raises a lot of interest from the authorities. And as I've mentioned before, the case of Tende Muswa, he was the first person to be convicted of printing a 3D gun in the UK. And in this coverage, in this article, they managed to obtain a video of the actual gun that was confiscated. Matthew Webb, the detective for organised crime at the Metropolitan Police, said that several of the guns have turned up in London in the past few years, and a member of the public had called to say that a firearm had been found in a rucksack. Technology is developing very quick, and they're making these hybrid weapons that are metal and also plastic, and they can allow for somebody with knowledge and expertise around this area to print a semi-automatic carbine weapon such as the FG-C9. He adds that there was a lot of faults in the early developments, but this would improve and of course it will become more of a threat. The Metropolitan Police seized 500 traditional handguns last year alone, and the 3D printed guns are a very small percentage of the ones that were seized. Another case that they also brought up in this article was one where an undercover police officer intercepted online plans between 3 people called Daniel Wright, Liam Hall and Stacey Salmon from Yorkshire. They had partly constructed a 3D printed firearm and it was confiscated following their arrests. They were convicted in England and they were stopped before they managed to cause physical harm, they said. But they've also found 3D printed guns with neo-Nazis in Germany as well, and other improvised guns with other extremists in different areas. The main point of the article is to basically bring a lot of attention to social media platforms and also owners of social media to do more to be able to protect people from being able to teach people how to make firearms. Instagram and YouTube said they will remove any content that instructs people on how to make banned 3D printed guns. A Twitter spokesperson told Sky News as well that keeping people safe is their top priority, and if anything breaks any rules or illegal activity, we will do our best to remove the content from the site. So I thought this is a really interesting story and a little bit more information and reference from the previous coverage that I've done on the channel in relation to this as well. And I really want to hear what people have to say. So don't forget to drop a comment, send your stories to news@scarcitystudios.com, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more. Peace.